Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka the thief that stole the hearts of millions, and this video we're breaking down Lupin. Ha ha ha! The fantastic French series has just dropped on Netflix with 5 phenomenal episodes, and this video we're going to be going over the plot and its enigmatic ending. Obviously there will be heavy spoilers here, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, then I highly recommend that you check out now. If you enjoy this video, then please click the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to the channel to be constantly kept in the loop. Lupin. Terrible. Anyway, with that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into the breakdown. Okay, so Lupin is based loosely on the gentleman thief of the same name, who's appeared in countless crime capers and more. Created in 1905 by writer Maurice Leblanc, he became famous throughout the century due to his thrilling adventures and storylines. The series itself feels very much like a cross between Sherlock and Hustle, two British TV shows that show the ingenuity of their character with jaw-dropping reveals that come at the end of an episode. The Netflix series is no different, and we follow a character known as Hassan, whose father was framed when he was younger. Accused of stealing the necklace of Marie Antoinette from the family he was working for, Hassan's dad hanged himself, and since then the orphan is set out to uncover the truth. Now throughout the series we learn that it was actually the owner of the necklace, a man named Hubert Pellegrini, who was behind its disappearance. Hubert is a rich and ruthless man who was on the verge of bankruptcy, and thus he framed Hassan's father in order to claim the insurance money. With help from a detective and his own wife Anne, they coaxed him into confessing over the crime, and thus were able to get away with it. You son of a bitch. Now, though they got off with it scot-free, the insurance money didn't cover all of the bills, and thus Pellegrini had to make a deal with a bunch of terrorists in order to get money. This was actually caught on tape by a journalist named Fabian, and Hassan managed to get a hold of it at one point in the series. This made it seem like he would finally have the bad guy banged to rights, but Pellegrini unfortunately had other plans. Hassan went to a local news network to expose the villain and his past, but at the last minute Pellegrini had it swapped out with a doctored tape, which made him look completely innocent. This dude. Anyway, Pellegrini sent a henchman to kill Fabian, and after coming face to face with him, Hassan realized that he needed to get out of Dodge. Hassan ended up fleeing with his wife and son, though it wasn't too long before they were tracked down. Now we can confirm that, though Hassan and Claire are separated, they're technically still married, which answers one of the big questions that hangs over the season. It turns out she was well aware of what he was up to and wasn't sure over whether the pair really had a future together due to his, let's say, extracurricular activities. Claire very much believes from time to time that Hassan is her soulmate and that they're connected. However, she also has doubts over their relationship, especially because he doesn't mind robbing an old lady of her family jewels. It's revealed that he was also having an affair with Juliette Pellegrini, which would definitely make things very, very awkward at Christmas. Either way though, they are indeed very much still interested in one another, which you can tell from their interactions as they take a train trip together. We learn that the pair were very happy that they were having a child together, and their son Raoul was actually born on December 11th, which just so happens to also be Maurice Leblanc's birthday. Bit of a side tangent there, just talking about the relationships, but I know people had questions over it, so I just thought I'd clear it up. Now, Claire does still deserve some happiness, and I think that this is why Hassan isn't objecting to her dating Mark, who just so happens to text her on the train. After the three take a family photo together, Hassan realizes that Hubert's henchman has been following them, and thus for the finale he enacts a plan to take him out the picture. Over the season, Hassan had been slowly implicating an alter ego named Paul Sanin in his crimes by posing as the character for several of the big events. After using that name when stealing the necklace at the Louvre, the police had been on the lookout for him, and he tipped them off to his whereabouts after placing a diamond from the necklace inside the henchman's pocket. It looked like it was all finally over. However, we did discover that the henchman gave an alibi for the night that the necklace was stolen, and therefore he was let free by police. It's also possible that Dumont had a hand in this, but we don't know for definite, just speculating there. Anyway, Claire, well aware that something was up with the man on the train, started to ask questions about what was really going on, and Hassan said that it all tied back to his father. Claire, sick of being trapped in this vicious cycle, seemed frustrated over going through the rigmarole again, and Hassan asked for one more chance. However, before he got an answer, Claire realised that Raoul had gone missing, and the character was absolutely nowhere at all on the beach. Due to Raoul wearing a Lupin costume, and all that were present at the beach, he disappeared without a trace, and to make matters worse, a policeman who was obsessed with Lupin as much as Hassan was, arrived after tracking him down. That's how the season ended, but what's going on and how will he get out of it? Well, with part 2 already being teased at the end of the show, there are a lot of things that we can take from this. The second lot of episodes has already been filmed, and I can imagine that Netflix are going to do what they've done with similar shows such as Snowpiercer, which too had all their work done before the release date hit. Typically, they tend to wait until enough enthusiasm is built up around a show, and I can actually see a lot of people being interested in what's to come, as this is a really good first entry. Now the first question you probably have is, what happened to Raoul? The henchman clearly has his son, and knows that he will likely hand himself over in order to save his family. On the train, the pair actually interacted and even discussed Lupin, so it's not too much of a stretch to imagine that he could lure him out with something during the celebrations. Now what exactly is going to happen with the policeman? Well, we know that he's pretty much gone rogue at this point, and therefore I can actually see the pair teaming up instead of Hassan being arrested or worse. Both are Lupin's superfans, and Hassan will probably find common ground with him over the shared love of the character. Lupin is very much seen as a sort of Robin Hood-like figure that only does bad things in the name of good, and I think that this common interest will help Hassan to get out of the predicament. At the heart of this show is taking down Pellegrini, and I think that once Hassan explains exactly what's going on, that the attention will switch to Hubert instead of him, allowing the pair to team up rather than being enemies. Now Hassan of course wants to make it so that his father is no longer seen as a guilty man, and I actually have a fan theory that he may still be alive and hiding out somewhere. I'm not 100% on this yet, but we're here now, so we might as well discuss it because hey, it's lockdown in the UK and there's nothing else to do. Anyway, if you cast your mind back to the prison episode in this season, you'll remember that Hassan escaped by faking a hanging that allowed him to get out of jail. This was eerily similar to the death of his father, and I think that it could be hinting to us that his dad actually managed to get out of the prison in a similar way. Again, it's unlikely, but hey, I just thought I'd throw that in there as it's a possible twist for part 2. The framing was quite similar, and I think it was shown to the audience to hint to us that there are ways to bring old Pops back if needs be. He also owes Hassan about 30 years of birthday presents, so enjoy explaining where you've been all this time, yeah bum. I'm sorry, he was a nice guy. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with this season, and this short but sweet series, it felt like a cool way to start the year. I knew Omar Sy as Bishop from X-Men Days of Future Past, and to see him really in a much more fleshed out role, it really allowed him to shine. If you're a fan of shows like Hustle and Sherlock, then you'll find a lot to like here. You just probably want to watch it with the subs instead of dubs, as they are a bit off from time to time. Anyway, I felt like the first episode was really good, and then the series sort of declined more and more as it went on, with the latter episodes being slightly less slick than the opening ones. Decline sounds like a bit of a harsh word, but you know what I mean. The Louvre heist was hard to top, the prison one was great, and then it kinda got less and less the longer it went on. It was fun though, wasn't it? And before you start, yeah, I am excited for part 2, and if I had to score this, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. You son of a bitch. Now I'd obviously love to hear your thoughts on the series, and don't forget that on the 30th of January we're giving away 3 copies of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings 4K box set to our subscribers. All you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the season. The links to our socials are in the description, and you can also support the channel by clicking the join button, and as a thank you, you get videos like this early. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of Pieces of a Woman, which will be linked on screen right now. Yeah, it's depressing, but it's a film that definitely deserves some attention, especially over the ending, which is quite ambiguous. Anyway, that's linked on screen right now, and thanks for sitting through the video with me. I've been Paul, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.